Merry Christmas season! It's that magical time of year again. The air's getting colder, your coziest sweaters are finally making their grand comeback, and there's a mug of hot chocolate practically glued to your hand while watching a fun, nostalgic Christmas movie. Some people can't get enough of it, while others, not so much. There's one part of the season that always seems to divide people: the music. You know you've grown up when you hear Jingle Bells and think, yeah, jingling bells, again. Every song has some reference to snow, Santa, reindeer, wrapping up presents. It's been done a lot. I'm not complaining though. I absolutely love Christmas music. It's so festive. Still, there's one song that stands out from all the snowy serenades. One that's a little more cheeky is Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt. It's not only one of the flirtiest Christmas songs ever written, but it's one of the flirtiest songs, period. So how did this sultry holiday number come to be? What was it about Eartha Kitt and the 1950s cultural moment that influenced a Christmas song to be so alluring? We're going to look into the history of Santa Baby. So now, let's get started. In the early 1940s, Eartha Kitt moved from the rural Deep South to New York, where she attended a performing arts high school. She found steady work at the Katherine Dunham Company as a chorus girl, and was a background performer in theater, where she'd perform on Broadway, Mexico, and across Europe. Once she became fluent in French, she developed the dramatic, theatrical singing style that would become her trademark. Her career would take a new height when she was cast as Helen of Troy and Dr. Faustus in 1950. With growing attention on her, Kitt returned to New York and was featured in the comedy musical revue New Faces of 1952, a show designed to spotlight rising talent. With her strong theater background, Kitt carried a magnetic, deliberate sense of theatricality. Every glance and hand movement was carefully controlled, yet full of expression, and, dare I say, her movements were almost cat-like. In 1953, she signed to RCA Records, where Ushka Dara and a cover of C'est C'est Bon were her first hit songs. She had officially joined the ranks of the era's great female jazz vocalists, standing alongside contemporaries like Sarah Vaughan, Peggy Lee, Dinah Washington, and Julie London. Pop music as we know it today wasn't really a thing in the early 50s, but they were some of the main pop girls, or main jazz girls. In an era where overtly wholesome songs like How Much Is That Puppy in the Window were inescapable, these singers brought in a bit more edge. Also, I'm today years old where I even heard of that song, and now I understand the reference in Cat in the Hat. Another trend at the time was Christmas music. It's still a thing today, but the idea of the Christmas single or the Christmas album was really coming into fruition. For a long time, Christmas music were mostly carols, seasonal novelties, or songs tied to theater and local performances. But in 1942, Bing Crosby's White Christmas, written by Irving Berlin, was revolutionary. This was a song you could easily listen to on the radio, or on a record in your living room. It also opened the doors for personality-driven Christmas music, showing that a singer's charisma could carry a holiday song. White Christmas was the best-selling single in history, so naturally, other songwriters and record labels would follow suit. Christmas music would become glamorous, romantic, and marketable. There's just something about vintage Christmas songs. They're so cozy and welcoming, but still elicit that excitement around the holidays. In August 1953, songwriters Philip Springer and Joan Javits were told to write a Christmas song for Eartha Kitt. She was one of the most notable smeg symbols of Broadway, so the writers naturally took to a mischievous direction. Her signature blend of sultry charm and theatrical flair made the perfect canvas for a song that was as playful as it was seductive. Santa Baby is something I personally call pin-up jazz. Think songs like I Want to Be Loved by You, Why Don't You Do Right, Giving Him Something He Can Feel, Gee Baby, Ain't I Good to You, 90% of the soundtrack from Burlesque. This song fits right into that. You know that thing about sitting on top of a piano? That should come back. The 1950s and 60s really ushered in a culture of spoiled glam. Something like this hasn't been this massive since the 1920s, so people were having fun. There were also songs like Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, which speaks for itself, though it was very much satirical. In the song Daddy by Della Reese, she openly expresses her desire for a car, jewelry, clothes with Paris labels. In Breakfast at Tiffany's, Holly Golightly was regularly receiving gifts, though it stopped short of truly idolizing that lifestyle. But it only took 10 minutes for Springer to come up with the tune. But he wasn't happy with the result, even telling music producers, "Gentlemen, this is not really the type of music I like to write. I hope it's okay. It's the best I could do." Santa Baby is both a glamour fantasy and a playful satire of Christmas consumerism, delivered with flirtatious self-awareness. In mid-century America, a culture obsessed with luxury and style made a Christmas song that wasn't purely sentimental fit perfectly with the cultural ethos. Along with chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Santa Baby taught that maybe Christmas can also be about being gifted Tiffany's, a convertible, and a sable coat, which I don't condone. Eve from Life Size said it herself. You should love animals, not wear them. She asked for a yacht. That's like old money, New England essence. What really set Santa Baby apart from the other Christmas songs of the era was how grown-up it was. It wasn't something you could carol to unless you're brave enough to try. The Santa she's singing about could really be the bearded guy in red, or, a well-funded admirer. And honestly, if it is the actual Santa, that makes it even more scandalous, in my opinion. But either way, whoever this guy is, his love language is gift-giving. But it's more than just that. The last verse shows that Kitt is interested in a ring, not one on the phone. Springer also notes, I ask myself, how come? I've written so many songs that, to me, are musically much better than Santa Baby, and they're not popular. The answer has to be that Santa Baby has a magic that goes beyond a composer's plans. It's a sexy theme. No one had ever done that before. Had written a song about a woman who was obviously a mistress of a man and saying what she wanted. Santa Baby was released in November 1953 in the US and Canada, quickly becoming the best-selling Christmas single of the year. Though successful, it was outright banned in the southern region of the US for it being too suggestive for a holiday song. Possibly in an attempt to appeal to a broader market, a tamer version with new lyrics was released for the 1954 Christmas season. Her Cadillac and yacht was falling apart after a year, but Santa can make up for that by purchasing brand new gifts. Controversy or not, Eartha Kitt was an exciting newcomer. Her debut album, released in December 1953, was even titled That Bad Eartha, where the first track was I Want to Be Evil. Taking from her sultry, charismatic persona, Kitt would star in films like The Mark of the Hawk, St. Louis Blues, and Anna Lucasta. Plus, with her signature, slinky seduction, alliteration, she fittingly would portray Catwoman in the 1960s Batman TV series. And in this time period was when Eartha Kitt's brand of jazzy cabaret was fading away for something more countercultural. But also, as Kitt says herself, she was whitelisted, but that's an entirely different conversation. But she was the voice of Yzma, so that's great. For some time, there wasn't too much attention towards Santa Baby until 1987. In that Christmas season, there was the double platinum compilation album, A Very Special Christmas. All the major artists of the time released their own Christmas covers. Whitney Houston did Do You Hear What I Hear? Bon Jovi did Backdoor Santa. I have no clue what that is. Stevie Nicks did Silent Night. And none other than main pop girl, Madonna, covered Santa Baby. It just fits. She decided to sing it with, I guess, a Betty Boop impression. This is a campy song already, so why not just let loose? Eartha Kitt wasn't too happy with Madonna's rendition, even reportedly telling a crowd, I used to have a lot of fun with the song, and then Madonna sang it. There aren't any specific details on why she didn't care for Madonna's cover, but it's possible she found the less sophisticated approach to not work, or felt that it came across as too jokey. But either way, Madonna helped introduce Santa Baby to a new generation. She was the first artist to cover Santa Baby, and let's just say that she started a trend. So many pop artists have recorded their own versions of Santa Baby each holiday season. This was covered by Kylie Minogue, Taylor Swift, the Pussycat Dolls, Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter. I could have sworn that Britney Spears did a cover of this, but I was wrong. But probably the most infamous rendition of Santa Baby was by Michael Bublé, where he regularly says Santa Buddy. Instead of a light blue convertible, he asks for a steel blue convertible. He still asks for a yacht, but tells Santa to think of all the hotties he never kissed. If all these changes are going to be made, then why even cover the song? If you don't want to seduce Santa, then don't. Though it is a holiday staple, Santa Baby's legacy in of itself is mixed. A 2021 survey by YouGov, I've never heard of that, so I'm not sure how reliable it is, stated that people find Santa Baby to be the most annoying Christmas song. It was reported that 1/3 of Americans don't like the song, but 2/3 do. Usually people get annoyed by Christmas music because of how overplayed they are, but in the case of Santa Baby, typical complaints lean towards the materialistic lyrics or how she's trying to be seductive towards Santa of all people. That's so wrong, he's married. But besides all its controversies and mixed reception, Santa Baby stands out as a Christmas classic. The song has attitude, wit, and sophistication, while also being uniquely flirtatious. There aren't a lot of holiday music like this. Songs like this shows that holiday music can have personality, and there's no better time than now to dive into the festive spirit. We've got about a month to get into a fun holiday vibe. Let's have fun this season and listen to all the Christmas music and Christmas movies we like. And that's all I have for the history of Santa Baby. Check out my Patreon for short lifestyle audiobooks that you can't find on YouTube. And thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!